everybody. I'm Jesse, and welcome to another deep dive edition of Gen X Thinks. Today we're going to talk about UFOs, unidentified flying objects. And I believe they changed it to something else. There's another acronym for it. I don't know what it is. I saw it once a couple years ago or whatever, but we all know them as UFOs. Now I have some questions about this. And that's the point of the deep dive, is for me to just share with you some questions I have about different topics. It's not to trying to convince anybody of a point of view. It's not trying to get somebody else to adopt my beliefs. I just have questions. That's it. The first thing that I think of when I think of UFOs is, you see the lights and people filming the lights in the sky and stuff, and there's some pretty interesting stuff I've seen back before they had all this computer generated graphics and AI nowadays where they can just generate this stuff. But there's been some pilots, I think they were Navy pilots, that ran into some stuff like that and captured it on video. Just recently now, there was a lady on a commercial airliner, and she was just looking out her window and captured some video of what looked to be a flying saucer. So there is evidence out there of some type of UFO or UFOs that appear randomly, mostly over the water, but all over the place really. But just the majority of them appear over the water at the, like at the beach, at the shore, out over the water like that. Now, there's all kinds of conspiracy theories about this. One of them, I saw an interview with a guy, I forget the guy's name, but he supposedly worked at Area 51, and the way he described it is that all these scientists and engineers had an individual piece of something, and they were supposed to try to figure out what it did and how to interact with it. But they were separated, and they didn't get to talk to each other, and they weren't allowed to go in and mess with the ship. He said he did see a ship once, or maybe several ships once. Whether that's credible or not, I don't know. There was a thing here recently, within the last few years, where there was an online thing started where people were signing up to join this group. They were just going to peacefully go to Area 51 and demand entrance. But from what I heard, they were pretty much told, you don't do that. They don't. So the government, even though that the taxpayers, those people are paying for all that, it belongs to them technically. They're not allowed to see it because the government said no. All right. So the first question I have about this is the distances between the stars. There are just vast distances between the stars. You're talking about light years, and you say light years, and that's kind of, a whatever thing. That's a light year, whatever. But that is a very long way. Something that travels 10% the speed of light would be incredibly fast. We don't have anything even approaching that, not even close. So to travel between the stars would take just a crazy amount of time. And it's really hard to imagine in your head just how far the stars are apart. The distances are just so vast that is a huge hurdle for us or any other civilization to have to come across, have to get to that point where they can travel that far. Not only can they travel that far, but they would have to travel that far in a relatively efficient way and fast. Because 400 light years, even if you could travel at the full speed of light, it still take you 400 years. So, it's that poses a problem in my head about aliens just shooting over here to visit us just on a lark, just to see what's up. That's, even if they had the technology, why do it? Why spend that much time and effort to come over here and confuse people and create conspiracy theories. That it just doesn't make sense to me. And now you have all the ancient alien theorists who say that aliens have visited us in the past, and they show all these different kinds of evidence toward that. And I watch those. Those are cool. I don't really buy into the ancient alien thing, but they're cool to watch. They're interesting. And some of the stuff they say adds up. Some of it adds up. When you take a deeper look into it and, look at all the facts, like the one I just mentioned with the vast distances between the stars, there's quite a few holes in any theory about aliens visiting us. So what are those lights in the sky? And what are these crop circles? These crop circles pop up, and some of them have been proven to be a hoax, a joke. Somebody did it, but some of them are completely mysterious. They've been analyzed, and they aren't hoaxes. They don't know, that just some weird thing that happens that nobody understands what they are. So there's a little more evidence, not proof, but evidence that there's something happening. And all this stuff, I believe, ties in together. The other major question I have, or a sticking point in my mind about aliens visiting us from another planet, is that with all of the people on the earth who are looking at the sky through telescopes and stuff nowadays, in the last many decades we've had telescopes and stuff, but now they're all over the place. We're constantly looking at the sky through telescopes from every corner of the earth, and not once, not one single time has anyone seen a UFO out in space. Never. It's never happened. Never seen a UFO out there piddling around in the moon. Never seen a light, one of those mysterious lights up there by the moon or anything. Never seen anything in outer space, any of those lights. They're all down here on Earth. Every single time it happens, it's on Earth. So if these things are coming down from out there, from out in space, it seems like someone somewhere at some time would have caught an image, at least one, a still image, some video, something, of one of those flying saucers, one of those lights zipping around out in space, outside our atmosphere. But it's never happened. And that just kind of sticks in my mind. Why? What are the things that would explain that? What other theories can we propose that say, hey, maybe they're not from outer space. Maybe they could be from somewhere else. Now, I pointed to the fact that, they're mostly seen over water. Well, that points to the case that maybe they are underwater, because they say that we know more about the surface of Mars than we know about the bottom of the ocean. We can't get down there to really see down in the Marianas Trench and stuff. We can't get down far enough. I mean, we're getting deeper and deeper with technology, but a lot of the deepest parts of the ocean are just unexplored. So that's a possibility, that maybe they've got some kind of habitation underwater down there, and they pop up once in a while to do whatever. That makes more sense than them traveling 400 light years to just visit us and go away. So now, but if there had been some other species of technologically advanced people or whatever, aliens, whatever you want to call them, here on Earth, now then maybe the U.S. government stumbled across a ship or something that was buried, and they dug it up and took it to Area 51 or something like that, or maybe a ship malfunctioned or whatever, and that's how they ended up with one. I don't know. And then the technology factor, if they can cross 400 light years of space to get here, and then they get here and they just lose control of their ship and crash, like some drunk lady in a Walmart parking lot, that doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Now, the other theory that goes around is that there's a ninth planet called Nibiru or something, and it takes a weird orbit, and there's some evidence to support that because of the orbit of one of the other planets, I think Venus or something. And They say that that planet goes so far out away from us that we can't see it, and that's where it's at now in its orbit. It's just too far away out there, and we can't see it because it doesn't reflect enough sunlight. And trying to pick it out against the backdrop of the stars is almost impossible. There's just too many and too much. So, but when it comes back around, like every 26,000 years or something, then it's close enough to Earth that they could just hop over and say, "Hey, what's up?" That seems more plausible in some ways than the whole aliens visiting us from many light years away. And that's my main question, is where are these things coming from? These lights, these UFOs, are they coming from outer space? Which, that part just doesn't make sense to me. Are they coming from the ocean? That's a little more probable to me. Do I completely believe it? I don't know. But it seems like a more plausible explanation than them traveling so far in outer space. And then the Nibiru thing, same thing there. That seems more plausible than them traveling so far through outer space. And when you think about it and you look at the evidence, and if you think about it and you look at the evidence that has been compiled on the thing, then, it kind of points to one of those two. And that's assuming they exist and can't be explained away by science. Hey, those lights are caused by whatever. The atmosphere bouncing off of light, bouncing off of something in the atmosphere, whatever. That's also a possibility, that they just don't exist. It's just a human theory that we like to talk about. And I'll leave you there. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by pushing the thanks button down below. Or you can hop over to buy me a cup of coffee and support the channel there. I'll put that link down in the description. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. I'll put that link down in the description too. And if you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a lot. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And if you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments as well. I really enjoy doing, user-inspired episodes of Gen X Thinks. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I will see you on the next one.